Every month, over 1,500 pastors leave the ministry due to moral failure, spiritual burnout, or contention in their churches. 70% of pastors constantly fight depression. Over 50% of pastors' marriages will end in divorce. And only 60% of pastors will still be in the ministry 10 years from now. What will we do? How will we help? Where do we start?
I was 28 when I came into the ministry. 10 months later, I became the senior pastor of Trinity, and I had no help. I had no resources of theology or relationships, the phone to pick up to call someone. And again, I was succeeding. The church was growing. You know, there was no frontal danger that I was facing as of people were leaving or we didn't have money and things like that. It was the internal sense of, I can't do this. I'm just not equipped to do this. I need to go to Bible school. I need something other than what I have. But I was reaching out for a relationship of someone that was further than me and knew more than me and could help mentor me. I couldn't find anybody, couldn't hear of anybody. I did everything I could, and I sat in my office one day completely overwhelmed, and I said, Lord, if you'll help me to survive this deal, I'll help somebody else.
In 1994, Trinity Fellowship Association of Churches was formed to help pastors and churches fulfill their God-given calling. Recognizing that pastors are overworked, ill-equipped, and alone, TFAC began to reach out through relationships, providing resources to equip, encourage, and empower pastors.
Well, I had a blast when I worked for TFAC. I was able to go around and preach in churches and help pastors, and they would ask me questions about, you know, how do you do life groups, and what about government, what about structure? And I just took everything that I learned from Trinity Fellowship Church, which is an extremely healthy church, and answered those questions.
And I know there's a lot of pastors out there right now who are trying to pastor their church. They don't have anybody to call. There's not a phone for them to pick up and call anyone. And I'm so grateful, even today, for what Pastor Jimmy and the leaders of TFAC do for us here at New Life.
One day I was just sitting in my office in Sanford and realizing that as the church was growing, I needed some relationship and some help on things I didn't know what to do or how to do. As the church was growing, I needed more structure, really didn't have anybody on staff. I contacted Trinity and began a relationship on how to help me get structure and grow a church.
The vision of TFAC is to help every church to succeed and to have their destiny fulfilled through empowering relationship, connected relationship with other pastors, with other churches. The devil is hammering us because of our isolation. We're isolated, we need each other. And so TFAC is there for any pastor, for any church that is just out there wanting to succeed, wanting relationship and resources and mentoring. That's why we exist, and we've had the great opportunity through the years to help a lot of churches to be planted, to overcome problems, and to grow dynamically.
I think a lot of times what's missing in the big monolithic organizations is a lack of really knowing you personally, a lack of real relationship. And TFAC, I think is at their core, they're hyper-relational. When you can call somebody that knows you, that knows who your wife is, that knows the history of your church, that knows the culture of your church, that's invaluable.
When we planted Gateway Church, I was constantly calling Pastor Jimmy and constantly calling Trinity Fellowship Association Churches, TFAC, and asking them all sorts of questions. I mean, almost on a weekly basis. And the knowledge that they gave us, the wisdom that they gave us, I think helped Gateway Church to miss out on a lot of those mistakes that we would have made without TFAC.
There's a shift that's happened in my life of really focusing a little bit more on church health. And that's what TFAC does. I think that's what TFAC is so good at, is coming in and helping the pastor of the local church be a healthy person, healthy in his marriage, healthy in his own devotional life with the Lord and in his pursuit of God. And once I'm healthy as the pastor, then the congregation naturally is healthy, more healthy. Our government is more healthy. And from that point, God can grow His church as much as He wants to.
Every pastor needs a fathering organization, a fathering relationship in his life, and that's what TFAC does. I heard a guy say a while back that he felt like the church had been over-mothered and under-fathered, and that the mother relationship is to nourish us, but the father relationship is to call our destiny out of us. And that's what an apostolic organization does. It fathers us. Paul said, you know, you've got 10,000 teachers, but few fathers. And I really believe TFAC is one of those fathers that is helping pastors reach the destiny that God has for them.
The entire time that you're learning to fly, someone's in your right seat, and it's someone who's experienced, someone who's further than you are flying. And I can't tell you how many times I've been flying and that person in the right seat saved my life. You know, but I'd already passed my test. I've already passed my instrument rating test, but I haven't passed my flying test. And even though I have all the head knowledge and I've read the book and I've passed the test, if it weren't for that person in that right seat, I would be in danger as a pilot. I believe that every pastor needs someone in the right seat. You need someone who can relationally transfer to you the knowledge that they have by their own experience, and that's what TFAC does.